So this morning, I was fighting Drav, forget his suffix, because I was like, oh my god, on Tuesday I didn't do the world bosses. Oh shit. So I went over and I looked for the world bosses and found out that Drav was up, and so anyways, I did the group finder thing and went over to another server and started fighting him. And then Aaron came out and said, "Hun, I think you got distracted." I'm like, "What? No, what? I'm in a shredder right now. I didn't get distracted. I'm still fighting."
No, hun. Your cell phone's in the medicine cabinet.
Yeah. After I spent the morning looking for it. A lot of people for a Thursday. They're probably freaking out about the storm coming in. So far I've got 2 Californians that are like, one of them called it Stormageddon. And the other one is just like, I better go get Chipotle before the end of the world comes. And I'm like, see, one of them lived in Hawaii, so I'm completely understanding that they can hyperbolize a storm.
Yeah.
Whereas one of them's lived in Southern California all his life. You don't get to hyperbolize a storm, especially when you're talking.
Calling it Stormageddon may actually be a Doctor Who reference.
Either that or he was talking about our weather. And I'm like, don't talk about our weather, Stormageddon. It's not.
Especially not when their weather is worse.
Yeah, when your weather's going to be worse, don't extrapolate from self. Especially when dealing with the weather across 1,000 miles. Because if it's like 400 down to Medford, you can imagine what it is down to Los Angeles. Considering California is like twice.
400 down to Medford.
I think it was 4 hours. No, it was 425.
Were we coming from Vancouver, or was that round trip?
I don't know.
That would have been a round trip, because Oregon's only 308 miles tall.
Oh, well,
At
still.
5.5 at least.
Still, we're looking at a third of the distance is just Oregon.
Yeah.
And California is long.
Yeah. California is like 800, so over 1,000.
Yeah.
Southern.
Yeah. So 1,000 miles away, anywhere on the planet, there's a weather difference.
Variation, yeah.
Yeah.
Except maybe if both points are in the Sahara.
Nope. Sahara's so big. Your train's coming.
Yeah.
And say anything before you run off and join the masses in their storm freakout?
Nope.
No? Alright. So, yeah. Sorry about the rushed morning. Aaron and I were both not observant of the time, so we had to pretty much run out of the apartment pretty fast. So, as I've been reading on Tumblr, and I watched his video, I'm really glad that Connor finally came to the realization. I'm glad when anybody comes to their realization of a concrete truth, because that means that living a lie or something is behind them. You know, it's like, and I know I said on Twitter and on Tumblr that I went through roughly the same thing last year, and I actually got a couple private messages on Tumblr that were basically hate mail. And I don't post those things to my blog because that's just breeding more hate. I just sort of like read it and then trashed it. So if you're watching this, thanks. Anyways, no, because I've actually been out for, it's 2001? Yeah, so 13 years now. So obviously I didn't come out of the closet as gay last year. The problem that most people don't get is that coming out is a lot of things. Coming out is a concept of, like I said, not living a lie anymore. Whether or not you come out of the closet as gay, come out of the closet as whatever. You know, in my case, it was a jock. People are like, you can't come out of the closet as a jock. Well, when you went to college and you majored in physics, theoretical physics and math, and you can sit back on a whiteboard and do, you know, algebraic calculus kind of in your own head, and you know, you sit and you stare at your periodic table in the kitchen while you're waiting for your pizza to cook, you tend to be labeled a nerd. When you play World of Warcraft, day in, day out, hours on end, you be called a gamer. And then there's, you know, gay on top of that. Like, oh, well, you just look cute and your hair's always done, you're gay. But nobody ever thought me as a jock. Well, I mean, I probably am not technically, mean, I'm not dyed-in-the-wool jock, but I definitely have the idea of like, okay, so I majored in physics and math, so I can do complicated math in my head, so I can actually read Latin. That doesn't mean I don't want to like get out there and physically compete with people. And all these people saw me as, you know, meek, nerd, geek, all that stuff, and I never really liked being seen that way. I always felt different of being, you know, something kind of like, I felt like I was living a lie. I mean, it was okay, it was an okay lie, but I can definitely, you know, get behind Connor. And, you know, in previous videos, he would almost mock gay. He'd make jokes of it like it was trivializing coming out. And he probably feels ashamed for those videos. I mocked people in high school for being flamboyant, you know, but high school be high school, yo. That's all weird and stuff. But even when I was like in my late 20s, I'd always mock, you know, the people that are like, yeah, I like to get out there and play sports. And I'm like, fucking dumb. You know, knuckle dragger. You know, and I'd say disparaging things to jocks. And do I feel bad about it? Kinda. To an extent, some of those guys were knuckle draggers. They really didn't have much going for them. And other times, I didn't actually know them. I just know they played sports. Obviously, they were, you know, a different class of person. But for 13, 14 years, 15 even, I wanted to play football. And I never really got to. Didn't do it in high school because I was embarrassed. Didn't in junior high because I was embarrassed. And you just don't in college unless you have high school experience. And so, and over the last year, I've come to realize I really do like the game football. I don't even judge people anymore. They're like, oh yeah, I play baseball. Okay. You know, and it hurts when I think about some of the things I said to people that were athletically minded. And people that lived like a dichotomous relationship within themselves. And people are like, but you can't play football, you're gay. I'm just like, what sort of archaic thinking? What? Huh? Oh, you're a math major, you can't play football. And I don't get it now. Before it made sense, I just had no logic to it. Now I don't understand. You know, I always kind of wanted to be one of those weird guys that was like incredibly buff and physical and like hot looking, but like could just talk you to death about Star Trek. Well, guess what? If you watch my Tuesday videos, you know that I can talk you to death about Star Trek. You watch my Instagram. But that's the thing, is I don't view Connor any differently now than I did before. One, I kind of always thought he was gay because I had a crush on him. But that's that. I just, you know, I'm tired of reading on Tumblr that people are like, I'm fangirling! It's sort of like, you know, maybe I treat people on YouTube like actual people. Like, they're not like overlords of like entertainment. They're not celebrities. I treat them like people. Like, I wouldn't like get all embarrassed and like, if I went to VidCon and I saw John Green, I'd be like, hi. I just wave like a normal person. Probably because I'm 33 and I realize that people are people. They have their own problem. They have their own ideas inside their own head. That's pretty much my thoughts on the issue. Yeah, you're fangirling, you know, and people are talking about shipping Troye Sivan and Connor together into Tronner. Connor together with Tyler Oakley. And again, we have Tronner, but then, you know, we have cochlea, I think is the term, even though that's, to me, that's a part of the ear, the cochlea. Anyways, so I just am like, and it's even made me think about, you know, shipping in general. These are real people. It's okay if you want to ship fictional characters. Like if you want to put Wesley Crusher together with, I don't know, if you want to have a little gay relationship between him and Harry Kim. I don't know. I would never do that. Mainly because, well, I just don't ship characters together. I know that there's like Prince Charming and Hook, or Captain Charming, I guess is the, whatever. It's got two names. Guess it depends on who's on top. Anyways, and that's fine for fictional characters. But shipping real people, is it a form of affection? Is it a form of admiration? I really don't know about that, because I don't do it. If you have any thoughts about the idea of, you know, shipping real people together, and why it is not nearly as weird as probably my brain is making it out to be, comment below. I mean, I'm willing to understand this. You know, Connor, if you watch this, I like you a lot. I always have. You know, you were kind of a guilty pleasure for me for a while. You know, and I watched the coming out video and I was like, good. Not like good as in a vindictive, like I always knew he was going to. No, it's just like pretty much any coming out video. I know mine is absolutely terrible and I need to re-record it, but that's how everything goes. You know, so that's it for today. It's Thursday, tomorrow's One Take Friday. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you support Connor. Pretty much anybody coming out for anything, whether it be a jock or if they're coming out as a nerd. Good Lord, what about those football players that want to, you know, go to college and study physics or math because they, you know, they have a physical body. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. But, you know, part of it is, you know, you can come out as anything as long as you've been living a lie for a good amount of time. So I don't really think I ever really came out of the closet as gay. Really wasn't ever living a lie. Anyways, I'll chat with you guys tomorrow, One Take Friday. Bye. Well, let's see here. That's a sign. And they're not going to do it. That sign right there says, home of the PFL and GNFA champions. Which is the Pacific Football League. Which is what the Monarchs are a part of. Yeah. And I'm just tootling around in here. Being a weirdo, really. It's Rutschman Stadium, Harefield.